Hi folks, Lee's Fun Entertainment here, and welcome to episode 9 of Lee's Movie Reviews. Cue the title! When I did my yesterday's video, when I reviewed the first Home Alone movie, if you haven't seen that review, please go and check it out on my channel. So, on episode 9, I'm going to be talking about its sequel, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York. So the basic plot is much the same thing as the first movie. Is McAllister family once again having another Christmas vacation, but this time they're going to Florida. And then, when Kevin McAllister was doing a Christmas school play, and then Buzz was basically messing around, and then Kevin basically pushes Buzz and everyone collapses and the show didn't go as planned. Meanwhile, back in the McAllister's family, Buzz tries to apologize to Kevin for what he did, and Kevin doesn't accept his apology, and then he got sent up into his room again. Meanwhile, when the family woke up, just like the first movie, they realized they were late for going to the flight. But this time Kevin was with them as well, and then all of them had to rush to get to the flight as possible. But meanwhile, when Kevin's trying to find some batteries for his Talk Boy, then once he put the batteries in the Talk Boy, Kevin spots his dad, even though he's not his dad, because it's someone who looks like his father. And then he managed to go onto the wrong flight. And then when the family got into Florida, they realized Kevin is not there, and Kevin is in New York City. When Kevin realizes that he was in New York City, then he decides to explore around New York City on his own. Meanwhile, Kevin spots a hotel called the Plaza Hotel, which he saw out on any of the game show competition. Yes, a new ding dang dong, stay around Plaza Hotel, New York's exciting hotel experience. For reservations, call 1-800-759-3000. The Kevin went inside this hotel, and spoiler alert, Donald Trump made an appearance in this film. Yes, the former US president is made a cameo appearance in the second Home Alone movie. How crazy is that? And then Kevin tried to enter a new room for the hotel, and then we see Tim Curry as the hotel manager. Have a lovely day. What was that going through? We see that Harry and Marv returned as they went to New York City. And as their plan, they went to Duncan's toy chest and they tried to steal all the charity money for the kids in the hospital. So Kevin went into the toy store where we see Mr. Duncan himself. He gives Kevin the 2 turtle doves, one, and explains to him one to himself and one to give from a special friend. As he went outside, he noticed that the 2 burglars arrived, so Kevin managed to run off as fast as he could to get back to the hotel. Then meanwhile, when he got there, the hotel manager, then he noticed that he basically had a stolen credit card. And that leads to the biggest chase until they stopped him with the Angels of Filthy Souls plank, just like they did with the first movie. And then Kevin jumped out from the back of the hotel, and they got caught by the Wet Bandits themselves, Harry and Marv. So Kevin does escape because the woman trying to smack them because Kevin just basically touched the woman's butt. Which kind of makes me chuckle as well. Meanwhile, back in Florida, when the family was in their hotel, I got a phone call and they tell them that Kevin was in New York. So the whole family decides to go pack up the stuff and get ready to New York. Meanwhile, at night, Kevin was wandering in New York when he sees the most darkest and scary moment, like the scary taxi driver, these 2 ladies, and all that stuff. Kevin comes across a scary pigeon woman with all the pigeons around him. And Kevin screamed, trying to manage to get away, but his foot was trapped into a rock. The pigeon lady came up to him, and he tried to get his foot out of the rock. Then Kevin realizes that she was trying to be friendly to him, and then much like the first movie, where Kevin and the pigeon lady had a talk about how her how their husbands broke up, and she felt upset, and no one's ever want to talk to her about it, and it's just really heartbreaking scene for. It's much like the first movie with Marley trying to Kevin in the church. Then after that, and Kevin went into the his uncle's abandoned apartment when he started sorting out all the traps, just like he did with the first movie. And then once he saw all the traps, then he got a plank and then he head down to Duncan's toy chest where Harry and Marv break in and they stole the goods. Meanwhile, when the burglars notice that Kevin's outside, Kevin lay out the first trap, which is like a plank, and then when Marv trying to jump out, and Harry was sent flying up in the sky, and he crashes into the car. Which is the funniest scenes I've ever seen in this film. Then they chase after him, and they get to their abandoned apartment. So and then Kevin started throwing bricks on Marv, which that was also the funniest scenes. And then both Harry and Marv trying to sneak inside into the abandoned apartment, but it's just full of booby traps. And I gotta say, these traps is really more deadly than what they did in the first movie. It's really funny. It's just the traps themselves. I love that so much. And they also have that fiery head from Harry again, and it explodes into his face. The one where Marv was trying to holding into something like electrical box, and you also see his skeleton. And I was like, that's creepy. And after all that, Kevin managed to escape, and until he slipped onto an ice, and then the burglars caught him. Then in the park, where Harry was about to shoot Kevin, but until the pigeon lady got a full bucket of pigeon food and threw it at them, and then we got loads of pigeons, and came in and started attacking one of the burglars. And then when Kevin got all the fireworks and lighting them and explodes, and the police found all the burglars and they started arresting them. And then throughout at the end of the film, Kevin managed to found his mum, and they started reunited, and their whole family stayed in the hotel. And then one of the most heartwarming scenes in the film, when Kevin gives one of the turtle dove birds to the pigeon lady, which just feels like a heartwarming scene. One of the most greatest scenes from this movie. And then at the end of the film, when Buzz got the bill from the hotel place, and you hear Kevin's dad saying, "Kevin, you spent $967 in room service." Oh yeah, I love that bit at the end of this. So that's the plot. So the film is really, really good. It's much like the first movie, but I really enjoyed the second film. Good writing from John Hughes as well. And still like the cast, it's much like the same cast from the first one, and great storytelling as well, and the cinematography is really great as well. And my favourite gags has to be the second Angels Filthy Souls, which they did that prank for the hotel managers to get distracted while Kevin's trying to escape, and that scene got me laughing so much. It's just like much like the first movie, like with the pizza delivery boy. And I also love the booby traps in the second one as well. They're so really funny in this. So I have nothing much to say. Home Alone 2 still is a second classic Christmas film. Much like the first movie, I give it a Seal of Awesomeness. Home Alone 2 gives a ranking of Seal of Awesomeness. Another one of a great John Hughes movie. Thank you all very much for watching this. And make sure to like, subscribe, turn on your notifications so you never miss any new videos coming up soon. And also, have a very Merry Christmas to you guys. And I hope you all had some great presents for Christmas Day. And I'll see you again very soon. And I'll see you guys very soon. This is Lee's Fun Entertainment. Merry Christmas and signing out.